Hi, challenge buddies. Welcome to 123 Sketchbook, our new creative adventure. I'm really excited about this. I used to have a computer game called 123 Mickey or something like that. So maybe that's where the idea came from. I have so much to tell you about this, but I'm gonna pace myself. This is for the long game. We have a sketchbook in front of us. So that's, the perfect excuse to take this one step at a time. So I want to show you what this is about. My challenge buddies know a little bit about it, but if you want to take part in this, if at any point you come across this video and you want to join, there's a link in the description. If you join, you'll get reminders for these workshops. They happen every Wednesday at 8 p.m. ET, I should say. And anyway, we're gonna be having fun. We have Zoom calls that are actually happening in our school community. You're gonna get an invitation for our school community. Then we're gonna be working on today's workshop that it's like a puzzle. I call it like a puzzle that I do with my own sketches. We're gonna learn everything about it in a minute or two. And then the third workshop is gonna be where we add color. So let me show you a few examples. I'm gonna bring this up here. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna be doing stuff like this. I wanna use my sketchbook. I wanna use my Posca markers or any acrylic markers that we have, and some other markers for added details. As you can see, obviously, we have like a lot of stuff that happened with a fine liner, and then some lines. Where, we can't have all the colors with acrylic markers, so any other marker that helps us, it can be a Sharpie, it can be whatever you have at home. My specific adventure is gonna happen with this sketchbook that is waiting for me. I'm gonna open it with you. This sketchbook I bought 2 years ago. It's the same as this one because I just love how acrylic markers look on it and how they feel on it and all of that. This one still has like the plastic thing. It has been waiting for me. I checked the other day. I bought it 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. It was in June 2024. And so, do you have any sketchbook that you have abandoned that is like saying, hey, it's time to excuse me, please? Anyway, that's what this adventure is about. So, I'm going to be filling that sketchbook. That's going to be my goal. But first, I'm going to show you what I do, because if you're like me, you are a bit intimidated by the idea of immediately starting your illustration on your sketchbook. So this is what we're gonna be doing. By the way, you can do this analog as well, but let's see what I do first. So we're gonna create a new canvas in Procreate. That's what we're gonna be doing today. If you don't have your iPad ready yet, this is the time. We're gonna go to new canvas, and for this specific thing, because in general I use layers, for this specific one we're gonna I suggest we go big, so 4000 by 4000 pixels, because you may want to keep the results in illustration for other things that we're gonna be talking about later. With this kind of stuff, we're gonna have 29 layers. We don't need that many for this purpose. You're gonna see why. Okay, so once we're here, we're gonna start. My challenge buddies and I have been working on a lot of sketches. we did them. We made, let me show you. We did a lot of them, at least I did them in loose pages or sketch pads. That's how I like working. And so they are like all over the place. However, I do like some of them. Some of them are never going to develop any further, but some of them I like a lot. So what I do is I take pictures of the ones that I really like and I bring them into my iPad. So we go to add, insert a photo, and then I have all these pictures that are not only from like recently, they're from sketches that I've had for years and they haven't seen the light of day because sometimes, you know, when you start a project, you sketch more than you need. You make more. That's what I do. I draw more than I need, and then I don't have enough space for all of them. So, but I don't want to abandon them forever. So depending on what I'm working on, I bring them back. So we're gonna start. I already did this part, you know, ahead of time, so that you don't have to watch me adding all these photos. But for example, I have, let's see, in this particular case, I'm going to be working for the prompt rabbit townhouses. So I went through all of my sketch pads and I gathered all of my rabbits that I was excited about. That's another thing that I want to tell you. Get sketches that you feel excited about. Even if, like, say you don't like rabbits, you don't like drawing rabbits. So in your case, you can just use the characters that you like, that you have in your sketchbooks or in your sketch pads or wherever they are. If you don't have any, you can follow along. And then when you join us for this adventure, you can start creating your own characters. So, okay, for this one, I have a couple of rabbits. These were, they inspired me. These were in my backyard. I took pictures of them and they inspired me because they were eating dandelion sticks like spaghetti. So I was like, I have to draw this. So there they are. Then we have these other guys. These are a bit older. I'm not a huge fan of how I drew their faces, and so that's another thing that I want to show you, like what I do with it. Here I have another one in a little mug of tea or a cup of tea. Then I also have, like, I decided to get a body that I don't know. I don't think I had a rabbit in mind for that one, but I liked the clothes, and so I thought that it would come in handy. Then I have this guy. He's a librarian. The other day, my challenge buddy Susan called him Ron, so that's another thing you can think about for your own characters. You can give them names. Then this one is another one that's from a long time ago. And let's see, do I have any other rabbits? I think that was it. And then another thing that I have is townhouses, of course. So what I'm going to do with all of these, because I need a bit of space here, is I'm going to combine them so that they're all in one group. And I'm going to reduce their size for a moment. I love drawing houses. I know that a lot of you do too. And so I have tons and tons of sketches all over the place. So this was easy for me. Oh, I forgot about this guy. Hang on. Actually, I forgot about a few. One sec. Oh, because they're in this layer on their own. Okay. I have this guy. I love his face, so I definitely want to include him. I have this other one, and I have This one was from one of the Just Sketch workshops that we've had recently. I wanted to include him. So before I show you all of my townhouses, I want to tell you about my idea on how I imagine the spread, because I'm going to be working on a spread. So if I go to gallery, let me show you what I do. This sketchbook is, we have to have it here, right? Yes. It's 5.8 inches by 8.3. So that's A5. I have the size. What I'm going to do is create that size. I don't care too much about the size. I care about the proportions, but that's going to help me. So let's see, we need inches. Too large, of course it is. Can you imagine 4,000 inches? That's insane. Okay, I already forgot the size. Okay, 5.8 by, actually, oh yeah, that's the width. And then the height is 8.3. Okay, we're gonna create, wow, we have like a lot of layers if we actually use that. As I said before, you don't want to be using this size because you will want to use your illustration for other things in the future, maybe coloring pages. And so we want to have it as a high quality thing. We don't want it to be this small. You always want to go big. But we do need the proportions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab any color and I'm going to fill this out or in. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that and I'm going to go to my original document with all of my sketches. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on one of these pages at a time. So I'm going to make it as big as I can in this one. And I'm going to think that this, you can even reduce the opacity if you wanted. You can put it all the way to the back. It doesn't matter. As long as like you can see where you're supposed to be working, that's going to be like our artboard, our canvas. You can make the canvas like that size if you want it, or that format. I tend to work like this because I like moving a lot of things around. So I'm going to be working on this one page at a time. On one of them, I'm going to use all of the rabbits, and on the one to the right, all of the houses. Before we get started, I want to show you one last thing. I'm going to copy or actually paste that again, and that's going to be one of my pages. And if I duplicate it and I put it over here, that's going to be the next, that's going to be the spread. Okay, so it doesn't have to be pink, by the way. Whatever color you want is fine. All right, so this is what I have in my mind. I want to do something like this. I want to split this page so that basically what you see is my rabbits. For example, this one, this is going to be like super fast, so don't worry about details at this stage. You know, the one that was eating dandelion? Maybe it's here. And then the one that had glasses and a book, Ron the librarian, is gonna be here. And then there was another one that was just like standing in his room and had a little frame. He was looking at a little frame that's gonna be there, and so on. So I have all of my rabbits on this side, and then I have the townhouses here. Now I could do something as simple as just creating 6 townhouses. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to give you like, it's what I call dialogue spread. So this is not, we're going away from literal sketches or drawings, and we're going to moments, feelings, stories. Like these are going to be little snippets of these rabbits' days, for example. And these are going to give you the idea that they are in those houses. Now, another idea that I had, and I'm gonna see how it works out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it's too complicated because we tend to overcomplicate things. But remember, you have so much space in your sketchbook. We're gonna do a lot of work on this. We're not going to get too detailed. At least, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. This is a spoiler. Are you ready? We are going to get detailed. We have details coming up. My challenge buddies. Trust me, there's going to be time for this, okay? We have all these things coming up. So you'll have time for details. At this point, let's start simple. Let's not overcomplicate it. However, I do want to share this idea that I had for these houses. So I have a pattern from a really long time ago where all of my houses look kind of like as if you're looking at them as if they belong in a hill or a valley, I should say. And so you can kind of see them, but not fully. That, I have to say, it makes me really excited. And so I may want to do something like that. But then when I think about the complexity of coloring those things, I want to go back to this, you see. So we're going to see where this takes us. The good part about all of this, and this is why I do it, is that I can iterate as much as I want before committing to the final composition. So I could try both, and then I don't have to do both, but I have the options. We're gonna start with our rabbits. So I'm going to hide all these houses. I don't need them. I do need that. I don't need the houses. Do I have all of them? Yes, I have all the rabbits. Okay. So I said that, for example, I don't like this guy's face. What I do is, why do I have this guy somewhere else? Okay, here. I like this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the selection tool, I'm going to get his face or his head and cut it. And now I can paste the head. I'm going to focus on one rabbit at a time because otherwise my head is all over the place. Let me hide everything else. There we go. Okay. So we said that we want this librarian. Here we go. Okay. We want him, say, here. That's a good spot because I'm thinking, this is where the page starts. So he's looking in. That's a good spot. And then I'm going to grab his head. And I'm going to use darken. I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to put it where, more or less, where I think it makes sense. Now I'm going to go to the layer where this picture is, or this sketch, and I'm going to erase the other head. Sorry, Ron, you're gone. All right. It's looking a bit weird, of course, because we have like different sizes, but we can adjust. That's the beauty of this method. And that's more or less fine. We can always play around with his body. I mean, there's something about his arm that I don't necessarily love. So what I can do is I can select all of this, cut and paste, and maybe do something like this. I'm not, there's something weird about the position. I drew this such a long time ago that now I'm judging my past self. We're gonna have to see about that. He may not keep that arm at all. And I'm going to also this like bothers me, so I'm just gonna cut it out so I can just see him. Okay, there we go. We have Ron. Then the next one, I want, oh, maybe we can use the spaghetti rabbit, because the spaghetti rabbit is looking in. So they could be like doing a, I mean, they're not supposed to be looking at each other, but I like how this is going to look on the page. I'm trying to imagine that too. Okay, so we have him there. What else do we have? We have the one from Just Sketch. Oh, we have this one. I love this guy. This one is taking a bath in a cup of tea. I mean, what a great day. And then I honestly don't like the ones. At this point, I'm not going to be using these. I don't see them fitting at this point. I like the one with the sewing machine, like in concept, but I'm not gonna be using it. You're gonna have to keep waiting, guy. And this one looks more, I like him, but he looks more like a rabbit that would be just hanging out in the backyard. He doesn't have too much of a character persona at this point. So I'm either going to maybe put his head in that other body that I have, or I'm not going to use it at this point. This is a good time to select for the things that you feel excited about, like this guy. This guy, whatever he's doing, he seems like very excited. He's looking at a frame. Oh, here. Okay, I'm gonna cut and paste him. I'm not gonna use that one, so I'm gonna hide it too. Okay, here we go, and I'm gonna make him bigger. My idea was to have 6. It's possible that I'm gonna keep 4. Because, I mean, the other ones, I don't like that one. I'm not sure about this one. I'm gonna keep it here. Okay. If you're new to Procreate by chance, remember that to keep these things like within the edges, because otherwise it's gonna cut off whatever I'm gonna show you. You see, like, it's gone. Poor guy. Actually, that may be useful because I need the head. But I mean, if you do that, remember to undo tapping with 2 fingers. What else do I have? I have this body. I don't know if it fits. It may fit. I also have to consider, this is why I like this this way of doing it, because I have to consider, right, like the size of this, right? Like we're gonna have to work on all of this detail in like this sketchbook. Do we want to add 6 rabbits? I don't think so. I think I'm already answering my question with my with itself. We can use these bodies and these rabbits for a different page. We have so many coming up. So we're gonna do 4. I think this is gonna work better this way. This guy can go up here, and this other guy can come down here. I'm gonna make them bigger too. I think that helps. And remember, if these things bother you or they're a bit disorienting, you can just cut all around so that you can get a better idea of what space you count with. Also, again, you can use multiply or darken so that things don't, you can see through things. You have a superpower. Okay, I think those are a good size. Maybe I would want it to be a bit closer to the edge there, and this one over there. We may have to do something like we have to keep these guys in the same room or the same moment. This one can be in its own house, and this one too. So he can maybe, let's see, I had other elements that I brought. And by the way, if you are kind of like thinking, what can I add apart from rabbits? What can I do? I have a resource that you can download from the description where I've been collecting for the longest time elements that I find interesting to draw. And so this is going to be a worksheet that's going to help you, think of these ideas that then you can make, you can develop even further with your own favorite elements. But I think it's gonna help. For example, here I have a plant. So if we need like this to be in any gap, we have it. For the time being, we're not going to use it because I don't think that there's a lot of room. Okay, where's Ron's body? Here. I'm going to merge. I'm not going to merge those layers because it's going to disappear. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I forgot that would disappear the layers. I can just group them in that case. And I'm gonna make him a little bigger. And I mean, that's it. That is my page. Okay, so here we have them. What I do next is I trace over them. So in this case, I'm gonna let you watch. I make some decisions along the way. Sometimes I don't have to keep every detail that I sketched out, but and sometimes I iterate their faces in the process. So you're gonna be able to watch what I do. I create a new layer on top of everything else, and then I just start drawing. Okay, so now I'm done with Ron. I was struggling a bit with this arm, and I was like stuck with the idea of him having a book, so I got rid of the book because it wasn't working. And so now I'm done with him, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide him so that I can see if everything that I have is working. You see, like, I forgot to trace a few bits. Most of it is there. There's just like something in his face, but that's fine. That reminded me for a moment of those like kind of like follow the dots, or what, connect the dots is what I'm going for. And here I think it's going to look better if I do that. Okay, I think it's looking fine. I obviously don't need, now that he's holding onto his paws, I don't need that. And something is looking weird here, so I'm just gonna erase it. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so we have him. If I want to move something now, from now on, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate this whole thing and move it because what I'm gonna say is you want to have this in its like original. I need to be able to be here. There we go. You want to have him be its original illustration because you want him to have the full quality from when you created it. If you start moving things around, as we know, Procreate processes images in a way that they start becoming blurry, and so you don't want that in case you need the illustration for a different purpose later on. I'm gonna fix some things that look off here this time. And of course, you see like I drew his leg or his paw a little different. So it's gonna be something like that. Anyway, there we have him. That's Ron. And I want to have a sort of line here. And maybe another one over there to split our page. Okay, we're gonna continue with this other guy. Let me know if you have a name for him. All right. So this guy has a few things going on in his moments. Ron is just hanging out there. We could, as I said before, we could add things later, but because we have a lot of detail, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Okay. Okay, so this guy, I was trying to figure out what I had made here. I don't remember. I think it may have been like a weird cushion thing with flowers that he was admiring. And I think he has a sort of trophy, but I'm not gonna go with that. I'm gonna see what happens if I hide all of this. Let's see. Oops, not that one. This one. Okay. I want to make sure that I don't. If I already had. Sometimes when you trace things digitally, you'll lose the essence of the sketch. We don't want that to happen. And I think that's happening to me right here because of the clothes. As you can see in the sketch, that didn't. It wasn't clear what he was wearing. So I had to kind of like improvise there, but what I could do potentially is bring this up, these clothes. Let's see where they are. Okay, here. And even though I can't make them fit as they are because it's a different pose, I could potentially just get, because this kind of like goes with, it's like a high-rise pair of pants, and so it kind of like works. And actually his shoes work too. I mean, the rabbit doesn't have long legs like that, so I'm just gonna get rid of those legs. See, I'm gonna get rid of those legs. And let's see what happens if we put it here, because it kind of like it kind of matches. What I could do is I could try to distort it. I have never done this. I don't like distorting things. No. I mean, it could work, but this already has like a way, and so let me think of this. I could just use half of it and see what happens. You know what? No, I'm just gonna try to replicate this style freehand. That's going to be way easier. So we have overalls. This is what's messing up his essence. It's deep. We have the overalls. We could add a button there. We can get rid of this. Okay, and then we have this little, I don't know if I want to make them short. I'm just gonna make them loose or a little bit baggy. Maybe like that. He has a cute belly and he has a little pocket here, or a little added thing. And he doesn't have, he has a long sleeve shirt. I believe that is his little tail behind. All right. He has a striped long sleeve shirt. Okay, and he has a striped shirt. Well, obviously, it's underneath. So we're not going to be able to see a lot of stripes. Maybe actually we can make it so that we can see stripes, because otherwise it wouldn't make a lot of sense. And then the overalls can be sort of like this. Here we go. All right. I think that's good. And now he looks cute. I could use that that outfit. I'm excited. All right. We have two guys. Oh, I was gonna say, he has like two pillows with I don't know where he's standing. That's another question that I had while I was working on this. Could be on a bed. And then he has a frame. But he has something weird on the frame. Oh, I forgot about the shoes here. I mean, they're pretty similar though. But I could just use these. and trace them, because the shoes that I had from the quick sketch didn't have a lot of character. These are a bit more, they have something more interesting going on. Okay, so I'm gonna put them there for a second. And what I was gonna say is I'm gonna bring one of the characters that I couldn't use, or one of the elements that I couldn't use. No, I wanna bring one of the characters that I couldn't use. This guy. This guy. Awesome. We have a head. This guy was also eating dandelions from a bowl. So, do we want to also do we want to have that in another frame? Maybe not. Maybe not for now. Maybe later on. And I'm going to get this head, and he's going to be looking at it. That's a weird frame. Okay. I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to duplicate this, and I'm going to play with this size, because there's no reason why that should be so small. I imagine it being really small on the page, and I don't like that. And as I said before, for the purpose of what we're going to be doing with this, it's fine to play around with layers and sizes and everything. But you do want to keep the original illustrations in black and white in case you want to use it for something else. In case you want to print it for something else, whatever you want to do. You don't want it to be all blurry, you know. I've done that before, and it's very disappointing, so I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, I have an idea. Let's see. I'm going to bring this closer. I have to be on the layer, in the layer that I'm trying to modify. I'm gonna bring it like over there, and then I'm gonna move this guy. Okay. And I think, because he seems to be in love with, you see how this story starts emerging? There's so many ways to go about this. I really like, I can't help myself. I want to get ahead, and but anyway, I'm not going to. I do want to talk about this story though, that I see. This guy is in love with the spaghetti, with a spaghetti girl. So, but they don't live in the same house. We know that because we have different houses here, different moments. So he is looking at her in a frame. And I don't know what kind of like bent metal is this, but he seems proud. Maybe he's I don't know, the best boyfriend in the world. Okay, you know what, I could like shift those things like forever. I think that I need a bit more space, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this guy is not doing anything. He doesn't have anything around him, so he's good. We could just give him like a little thing where he's sitting on, and that's it. But this guy needs a little bit more room, so I'm gonna put him to the side. Let's see, do we have everything in a group here? Yes, except for the shoes, but that's fine. Okay, I want him there. I don't need the full window. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, and now we need the shoes, so I'm just gonna quickly, this one looks more interesting. I'm gonna trace over it. I'm gonna do the same with this one. Yes, okay. And I'm also going to trace over her, so I'll let you watch. see what I'm doing there? I accidentally kind of like made this area simpler, and I don't want to do that because that is one of the things that kind of takes away the essence of what you originally had in mind when you are making the sketch. So I want to try to either change that if I don't like it, or keep as close to it as possible, because as we know, like, we are going to be tracing this again, and so the more that we trace it, the more that we can accidentally drift away from it. We don't want to do that because we had something that we liked, and so it's important to do it justice. Now this frame I'm not like a huge fan of, so I will redo it. I don't care about moving it around. This is one of those things where you may want to see a reference picture before you do it. I do want to be as exact as I can about the main part of the frame, like this rectangle, and then I can play around with the frame itself. I don't like it. But that's fine. I will fix this actually later on when I take a look at a reference picture, because I'm not loving that frame. And I've definitely, I mean, I could keep it simple and just like, honestly, let me, for the time being, I wanted to make it interesting, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I could keep it simple and do something like that. And then make sure that if this guy is like right in front of it, I do want it to be sort of like over there, so that there's nothing weird going on. Okay. We're gonna erase the things that we don't need and trace over this. Okay, his previous shoes looked better because they're being covered by the pants, so I'm not gonna touch them. So that's good. And then you see, like, already by tracing all of that, you realize how much more complex the whole thing would be if it had 6 characters. So for these guys, we're going to actually keep it simple. Happens sometimes when you made something such a long time ago is that you don't remember what the original point of some of the sketched parts was. And so some bits can look weird. I try to adjust them because I mean sometimes even like the sketches themselves don't look that clear. Okay. We have her. I was trying to think if I should make her wear something. Because now her boyfriend has all of them have clothes and she doesn't, so she should probably wear something. It's gonna be, let's see, something super simple. Cute thing, and then we can maybe draw some florals on it. Trying to keep it simple, or polka dots is always nice, and some buttons. Okay. And this is a bit disturbing because she's like in the same room as this other character that's taking a bath. So this story got kind of strange. We could split it. We're gonna see. honestly, it could be like another moment where they are in the same house. Because for this one specifically, I would like to use a different head, but because it's looking in that direction, I don't have it. I don't have one. And one of them was like looking a bit too realistic for this kind of spread. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to imagine what I want it to look like on this. And also I was trying to see what is this guy drinking? I don't remember. It looks like it's something hot. So if he is like me, he's drinking tea in a tea mug or cup. Interesting. Okay. There we go. I think everything else has bubbles or steam, so we can be done with it. Okay, there it is. I like him. Yeah, they're gonna be in the same picture because otherwise the composition doesn't work. Unless you wanted to do some things that at this point I don't feel comfortable doing, but something like that where you separate them. But I think because we thought of it, or like this, right? But I think because we thought of it that way, then we're just gonna go for it. Okay, so there we have, that's our first page. What we're gonna do with this is print it, so you can export it by going to share, JPEG, or PDF. Of course, you're gonna remove the background and you're gonna print it. If you want, what you can do so that you don't get lost is actually create a couple of lines here. Okay, and then we can actually remove that. So when you print it, then you cut it that way, and you're gonna end up with something like this. This is where the ones that I used before. You see, something like that. Or like this. Here I have one of the frames that I use. You see, I add different details to them. Anyway, and after that, what I do, and we are done with today's illustration, but what I do is I put it in my sketchbook. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I do this. Let me show you. This was for this illustration. I could show you here actually because I think it looks, you're gonna see it better. So what I do is I put it underneath, so there. I put a light lead pad underneath and I trace it. And yeah, that's what I do. So I mean, it could be like a lot of work, and depending on the sketchbook that you use, because you don't have to use mine, you can use a different format and everything, and something that's going to be more comfortable to trace, but I do it that way. Another thing that you can use is transfer paper or carbon paper, but anyway, you can go with what you want. But when one doesn't feel too comfortable about starting again on the sketchbook, you already have your illustration digitally, it works, it looks good, then you just trace it. That's what I like doing. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed our workshop. I hope that you had fun. I can't wait to see what you created. If you want to be part of our community space, be sure to join the 123 Sketchbook through the description. I don't know if I want to call it a challenge. It's like an experience. We'll see. And I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you so much for being here. And next Wednesday, we're going to be working on adding color. So I'm going to be tracing this on my own because I don't want to make you watch me trace the whole thing again. But if you would like me to include that at some point, be sure to let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being here.